Time rolled on, and the shock of losing Gunny Lane also passed. But the pain didn't, nor did the resentment. Many of the soldiers started hating more and more the fact that they were in Iraq. To some, the mission was becoming cloudier and feeling more futile, more ludicrous. Others stuck to the official position, and the company divided almost evenly along these lines, one half critical and the other single-mindedly directed. "We're Marines," one group would say. "This is what we're trained to do. We go home when we get sent home." But Sami and his clique were more critical. "Why are we even out here?" they would ask, adding, "This is not what Marines are supposed to do. Marines are supposed to go to action and fight battles, not watch our friends get picked off without a fight." The division between the two camps came to a head one day with the purchase of a bootleg DVD. Iraqis were often seen hanging around the entrance to the camp in hopes of selling various items of dubious value, including the latest Hollywood movies on DVD. Movies were among the more desirable purchases by soldiers, who were often bored and looking for new entertainment in their daily life in the compound. One day, one of the soldiers bought Michael Moore's Fahrenheit 9/11 from one of the Iraqi bootleggers. It was a strange little moment of global culture, watching this movie about the Iraq War in a black market version in Iraq. The soldier walked into the TV room and slipped the disc into the DVD player, which disappeared like a communion wafer into the machine's mouth. A moment later, the screen went black. The sounds of airplanes rang out from the speakers, and the controversial documentary began playing. Sami and about 20 other soldiers watched Fahrenheit 9/11 in silence. It had them completely captivated. At first, Sami was thinking, "Is this for real?" But as he watched the movie, he started wondering, am I out here for somebody's personal gain? Am I out here trying to help somebody else advance? What am I really out here for? He was convinced by the movie. He and his clique had had questions before, but now they had something to affirm their position. A cultural artifact replete with evidence, documents, statistics, and footage. Occasionally someone would yell, "This is bullshit," at the screen, only to be hushed into quiet by the rest until the documentary ended. As soon as it did, an argument ensued. "We're here for someone else's fucking own agenda," someone yelled. "That's crap. He's just trying to attack George Bush," countered another soldier. "Look, the guy's providing evidence for you. There's paperwork suggesting that his relationships are influencing what's going here." "How could you just dismiss this?" Sami said. "Hey, whatever the president does is right. He's a military guy. He gives us raises. He supports us. He takes care of us. He supports the military. Are you serious? Bill Clinton never supported the military like Bush. He's the one who got us into this mess. Bill Clinton has nothing to do with this. You know, he was probably one of the best presidents we've had in a while compared to this guy. Are you honestly trying to justify this? I don't care. America was attacked. They put fewer troops in Afghanistan than they have police in New York City. Does that make sense to you?" The argument continued for a while, widening the divide between the two groups, until it petered out somewhere between respectful differences and a bad taste in your mouth. The Marine Corps drills into its troops the idea that they're all green, that a fractured and divided group of soldiers is a liability. Ultimately, that was the value that triumphed. Although some soldiers played the movie over and over, Sami and many others refused to watch it again. But by now, Sammy's own position had solidified. I don't support the war, he told me in 2006. But I support the men and women in the war. A lot of these guys are young guys. They're 18 and 19 years old, and they have no choice. When we're told to go somewhere, they have to go. I understand that. Obligation says they have to go. And being a military guy, I side with them. I'm on their side. I value them more than the war. But to keep people out there that long for reasons that make no sense to anybody else except your inner circle, it just doesn't sit right with me. None of these people making decisions have anybody there. They're playing with house money. They're playing with the youth of this country. They're not playing with their families. They're playing with other people's families. And you can't do that. You have to respect these people, first off. Give them back their children. I'm not on the side of the president at all. I think he's an idiot. I think his policies are skewed. I think his opinions are skewed. I think he uses religion as a form of control over the country. You hear him? He says God's on our side, and God has tapped the United States as the world's police. And I'm always thinking, how do you know that? God tells you everything that happens? But at this time, Sami didn't share his opinions widely. I need these guys, he concluded, so let me shy away from it. Most everyone followed suit, especially after the first big fight. The movie was rarely brought up again. People's positions on the war became clear after that, and the issues were seldom discussed. Everyone knew what would happen: more arguments, more dissension, more internal conflict. Only when Sami was in a group of like-minded soldiers would he talk about the movie, about politics, or about the reasons for their presence in Iraq. Otherwise, it became an issue to be scrupulously avoided, and the soldiers tried to focus on something else. After the movie had been screened enough times so that everyone who wanted to had seen it, the soldiers quietly retired the film, turning their attention to other entertainment. They played more video games.